47-minute illegal interview on my daughter.
Full of truly terrible news stories.
Do you have any opinions on that?
And has affected your attitude towards the WA police force?
He misused the government's credit card whilst he was on holiday.
Suing the state of WA and you, Carlo Callaghan.
Of course, all those pressing issues here in Perth. Hello and welcome to a brand new week of Undercurrent. I certainly hope this episode finds you very well. My name is Christy Mulligan. Well, first up on tonight's show, you may have heard that the government is hoping to group lots of local councils together. Now, many people are not happy about this, and some of them marched on Parliament House the other night. Lucy Nichol was there.
Over 2,500 ratepayers gathered outside Parliament House to protest against the state government's proposed forced amalgamation of local councils.
Essentially, we wanted to demonstrate that at community level, people are outraged by this.
There's thousands of people here, and I know the government only expected a few score people to come along, so congratulations.
When you talk to people knocking on the door, I knocked on 300 doors to get some signatures on a petition. 2 people said no. 2 people, that's amazing.
We got over 12,000 signatures within a week and a half, people that were against this proposal. We've had another 10,000 that have kind of come online. So people in Coburn are very, very proactive. We just want to be heard.
See, I see signs and people from all over our great city. People who care about their communities. People who want to continue to have local representation for their community.
Well, we support local government, we support local communities. We don't want to see rates go up, and we're expressing our support for the communities of Perth here tonight. This is something they said they wouldn't do before the election, now they're doing it.
The big disadvantage is that the people elected to represent you don't understand the locality. Don't understand the locality. So when they're making planning decisions, they don't understand the nuances of the space and the place.
What it will take away, it will be the community spirit, because we'll become a mega council. We do not want to be mega councils.
Congratulations on showing what you think and putting forward your views and your voice, and I hope now the government listens to what people are saying.
The Daydor amendments to our Local Government Act provide that electors may demand a poll on a recommended amalgamation. However, many people here tonight feel that the state government is trying to circumvent this democratic process.
Unfortunately, that part of the Act isn't written in a way that makes it clear that the people have a right to a vote. It's written so that, if you don't call it an amalgamation, that's what the government's trying to do. They're trying to say, oh, we're not going to do an amalgamation, we're just going to change the boundaries. Hey, we can do that without having to invoke the Daydor Act, the Daydor provisions.
We should have legislation that no matter what, Daydor is enacted so that people get a say, especially in country areas where I represent. You can have communities that have not seen eye to eye for a long time, forcibly amalgamated on the minister or the board's whim, and that the people of those communities don't get a say. That's not how democracy should work.
The government has only ever talked about the advantages and has completely ignored the disadvantages, and the proposals are 100% undemocratic.
You have to explain what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what effect it will have. And it says it has to be clear.
What the government is doing is undemocratic. What the protesters here are doing is completely democratic. What the government needs to do is actually listen. They need to pull back and listen to what people are saying. I think the Premier is determined to do it off his own bat. He wants to have a legacy, and the legacy is to halve the number of councils in Perth, but in so doing, remove local say and increase rates.
Our system of government is fragmenting. The fact that a Premier can say, hey, I think I'll do this, well, that's not the way government works.
We are for amalgamation. It just needs to be something that works for everybody. I mean, City of Coburn supposedly is going to be abolished. Well, to me, that's not an amalgamation. It's not a fair process.
that different councils have been pitted against each other. So where we've had relationships over the years, and we work really hard at that, we've got lots of networks, lots of partnerships, and those are all being destroyed at the moment, and that's the thing that's really heartbreaking.
Ratepayers are also worried that their private property rights will be affected, suggesting that larger local councils benefit developers rather than family homeowners.
I think they want to do it because the less you have local people involved in local decision making, then the less people will care about development. So it's sort of part of a bigger picture to make it far easier for the state government to control development in the state.
People need to re-engage with politics. Politics is dying, and you don't want politics to die.
I'd like to see the government pull back. I'd like to see them adhere to the promises they made at the election, make sure local areas can have their own say on their own futures, which is exactly the position as it now stands that the government is changing.
The Local Government Advisory Board received 25,000 public submissions on its proposals and is due to report to the Minister for Local Government, the Honourable Tony Simpson, by the end of June. I'm Lucy Nichol, reporting for Undercurrent.
This week's Voxpop segment could be an absolute cracker. We took to the streets of Perth to find out if you think Tony Abbott has broken any of his promises since becoming PM.
We hit the streets of Perth to find out whether you think Tony Abbott is keeping his election promises. Do you think Tony Abbott has broken any of his election promises?
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't like Tony Abbott, full stop. No, I think he's doing very well under the current circumstances, better than any other partners could do.
Absolutely.
I don't think he has, to be honest. I think he's a bit of a douchebag. I think he's up himself. He's putting on a show for everyone, just trying to get votes, you know.
Yes, I do. And which ones do you think?
Most of them. Well, I know there's quite a few that promises that he had made, but I think the main one is the boat people. They're still coming. Why haven't they stopped? When Howard was in, the boats weren't coming in as much, but all of a sudden now they're coming in droves. What can he do about it? He promised that he'd stop them, but they're not stopped. So that's what I'd like to see change.
How do you think that affects Australians?
Well, a lot of our welfare and that are going to them when we have a lot of people from our own country that are struggling. Yeah, okay, they're refugees and they need help, but if you're that, you need to come in the right way. That's all it is. You stop taking from our own Australians and come in the right way and legally.
How can we ensure our politicians keep their promises?
Keep on their back all the time. Attend the meetings, and if you've got any problems, raise them with them directly.
Give them harder penalties. Just, just make them think twice about, feeding everyone lies and,
Well, they need to be honest for a start and be aware of the promises that they made and when people elected them, that they carry out those promises.
It's very difficult. And I don't think once they're in, you've got them. That's all you can do.
By not voting for them.
Hold them to account and vote them out if they're bad, like Tony.
It would be lovely to say that if you don't follow through on your promises, you're out. But, whether we can do that or not, it's not really, it's a hard thing to make, hard decision to make. So I'd like to say that. If you don't follow through your promises, you get booted.
We haven't really got many politicians that keep all their promises, so...
No. So we'd have no politicians left if we did that. So, yeah. Isn't that the role of a politician, to not follow through? So I think that's what they get trained for at uni, is to not follow through on promises and just know how to lie to people. So, yeah.
It seems like the people of Perth don't think Abbott is keeping his promises. We'll just have to wait and see whether he delivers on his policies. Catherine Croston, reporting for Undercurrent.
Voxpop's very interesting as always. Time for a quick commercial break here on Undercurrent. Catch you again very soon.